All right, so we're diving deep into Amazing Grace today,
Okay.
but not the whole thing, just these few verses.
Right.
And it seems like they're from a letter or maybe part of a longer document.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like we've only got a piece of the puzzle, you
Yeah,
know?
like a hidden message or something.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So what we're going to try to do today is figure out why these words are so powerful,
Okay.
even without the rest of the hymn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so like right off the bat, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I mean, just those first couple
And
lines,
you really feel it.
don't you?
Yeah, you can feel the emotion in those words.
That rawness.
Absolutely. It's like the speaker is just hit with this realization about grace.
Hmm.
And in Christian tradition, grace is a really big deal, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's this idea of unearned kindness, love that's just there no matter what,
Wow.
even if we don't deserve it.
You know, it's interesting because that idea of grace, it kind of sets us up for those next lines. I once was lost, but now am found, was blind, but now I see.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like a total transformation.
Totally. And it's not just about finding your way like physically
Right.
lost and blind. Here, they're metaphors.
Interesting.
They're talking about that feeling of not knowing where you fit in,
Okay, yeah.
what life is all about, you know?
Yeah.
And for them, faith is like suddenly seeing clearly
I see.
everything makes sense.
That all clicks into place.
Exactly.
But then those next lines, 'twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. I'm a little confused here.
Oh, yeah. How can grace be scary?
Right. It seems like the opposite of what we've been talking about.
Yeah, it's not really about being afraid in the way we usually think about it.
Yeah.
It's more like imagine standing on a mountaintop.
Okay.
You're looking out at this incredible view and you feel so small
Right.
in comparison to everything around you. That feeling of awe, that's kind of what they mean by fear.
Oh, wow.
It's about realizing how huge this love is,
That makes sense.
which can be overwhelming at first,
Yeah.
but it's also what ultimately brings comfort.
Wow. I never thought of it that way.
And it makes you think about how powerful grace really is.
Right. And you know, that feeling of being overwhelmed by grace, it reminds me of that line, how precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Like they're reliving that moment when everything changed.
Exactly. First believing, it's like a spark, you know?
Yeah.
This turning point in someone's life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be about religion. It can be anytime we find something that gives us hope, that unshakable belief. It's not
Yeah.
the end, it's just the beginning.
Right. Okay. And then in verse 3, the Lord hath promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be as long as life endures. Like they've found their anchor now.
Absolutely. They're not searching anymore. They found that sense of security.
Right. And isn't that a basic human need?
Oh, for sure. We all want to feel safe,
Yeah.
to know that we belong. And those words, shield and portion, they're such strong images.
Oh, yeah.
A shield to protect us from whatever comes our way.
Yeah.
And portion, that implies that we're part of something bigger,
Right.
that we're taken care of.
Okay. And then we get to the last bit of what we have.
Yeah.
When we've been there 10,000 years.
Yeah. Just chills.
I know, right?
Gives me chills every time.
It's like a glimpse into eternity.
It really is, even without knowing the full context. It
Yeah.
makes you think about time. I mean, 10,000 years, it's hard to even imagine.
Right.
But the way they talk about it, it's like that feeling, that connection, it lasts even beyond time.
Wow.
That's a powerful thought, no matter what you believe.
So we've covered a lot today. Grace change, finding your place in the world. But what does all this mean for our listeners?
That's a good question. Here's something to think about. What are the things in your life that make you feel like you belong? Like you found your purpose?
Okay.
It could be faith. It could be love. It could be something else entirely.
Right.
But what makes you feel like your life is precious?
Yeah.
What makes you believe in something bigger than yourself?
Think about it, folks.
Yeah, really consider it.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Until